All right. So first of all, before we jump into the video, I just want to say what's up to all the sales reps out there. If you're new here, my channel is all about helping sales reps build a life of actual freedom, not just making a lot of money, but actually having freedom to go and do the types of things that you actually want to do, which is why I'm on this rock next to this campsite that my wife and I have been staying at for the last 5 days in our great big camper. I'll throw up a couple photos of it here. But for me, this is what actually being rich is. I was making a lot of money in sales. I was doing very well, but I had this feeling that there had to be more out there for me than just chasing quota. So in this video, I'm gonna go ahead and say some things that might sting a little bit if you're in sales, but for those of you that are ready to start something for yourself, everything I talk about in this video is gonna make sense and you're gonna be glad that you watched it. Now, here's something that nobody is gonna say in sales, but I will. You're very good at making other people very rich. That's literally the job of a sales rep. You find leads, you build relationships, you close the deal, and then you literally give 96% of every dollar that you just created to somebody else. And yeah, you get your 3-4% cut plus your base salary. But if you are honest with yourself for just a second, who's really getting the better end of that deal? It's the executive or the founder of the company who's taking home 40% of every dollar, because that's the reality of what's happening. And people love to jump in my comments and they say, well, there's other people in the company as well, they're getting a cut of it. But by and large, 40% of every dollar a company makes goes to the CEO or the founder and shareholders of that company. Now, I did this for years. I was genuinely incredibly good at sales. I love sales. I still sell today. I'm going to talk about that later in this video here, but I was genuinely good at making a lot of money and I was genuinely miserable. And it wasn't because the work was hard. I love sales. I love selling, but I finally understood what I was doing. I was building for somebody else when I myself had no freedom. I couldn't go on a camping trip without worrying about quota. I couldn't go and take my wife on vacation without checking my phone and wondering what deals were stalling or moving along. And the thing that I realized when I thought about it is the thing that everybody at your company hopes that you're not going to figure out. You already have every single skill that you need to start building your own thing. You're just using them for somebody else right now. Here's what a sales career actually looks like when you zoom out for a second. You grind, you hit your number, you feel good for maybe a week. You close a great big commission, that dollar amount hits your bank account, you're like, wow, I made so much commission, and then 30 minutes later, the dopamine hit's gone. Then the month or quarter resets, and you start over back at zero again. It's an endless hamster wheel. At least that's what it felt like for me eventually and for my business partner, Derek. There's no end, and actually when you perform better, you're actually punished by them making it more difficult for you to make the same amount of money next quarter. Hit 120% of quota this quarter? Great, that's your new baseline. Now they expect more because you've proven that you can do it. Your comp plan gets adjusted, or if you do really, really well and grow your territory significantly, what are they gonna do? They're gonna split it up and they're gonna bring somebody else in. And they're gonna give half of what you just built to somebody else. And you can't promote your way out of this, which is the worst part. The whole system is designed to keep you producing. It's definitely not designed to make you wealthy or actually rich. Yes, you can make a good amount of money in sales, but you will never make so much money in sales that you are actually completely free unless you literally penny pinch and lower your quality of life to save as much money as you possibly can. And the thing is, as sales reps, we don't wanna do that. And I think it's completely fair that as sales reps, when we work exponentially harder than other people at companies, that we should be able to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Why have a nice car if you don't have any time to go and drive it? Why have the money to buy a camper if you don't have the freedom to go camp? And I'm not gonna sit here and say that sales is a scam. It provided me a really, really great income. It made me more money at a young age than any of my friends. I went from having no job prospects to making more money than my friends that had, great degrees and all this stuff. So I'm grateful for sales, but the reality is that it eventually has a ceiling. Uncapped commissions are not real. Eventually, you will have a situation where you cannot increase your income unless you move to a different company and start building all over again. And so many people, I speak with hundreds of sales reps every single month, and burnout in sales is real. It's not real because you're tired of doing the work or you don't want to work hard. It's real because eventually you hit a wall where you're tired of resetting to zero. That's literally how the biomechanism in your brain works. If you feel like the job is never done, you will burn out. And here's what hit me one day, and you need to hear this. Think about what you're actually doing every single day. You identify a target, you research them, you reach out cold, you build rapport, you handle objections, you close deals. Do you know what that is? That's literally running a business. That's what people pay coaches, mentors, VP of sales to come in, hundreds of thousands of dollars to do for them. This is why usually when engineers start companies, the first big hire that they make is like a VP of sales, because they have no idea how to actually sell their product, service, or solution themselves. And you're doing this every single day before you have your cup of coffee or before you have lunch. And there's this stat that like 99% of businesses, that it's not actually accurate anymore, but everybody says 99% of businesses fail in their first year. It's actually only like 30%, by the way. But the reason why so many businesses fail is because they don't know how to get customers. They don't know what we already know as sales reps. We already have the most valuable skill in business. Your biggest problem holding you back from owning something of your own isn't a skill gap. It's that nobody actually explained to you that there's a business out there that you can start using the skills that you already have as a sales rep. So when I realized this, like, what did I do? Right? Well, I thought if I'm already doing that daily, why not start doing that for myself and see if this business has legs? So in November 2016, I reach out to my now business partner, Derek. There's a whole story. I talk about it on my Instagram all the time, so drop a follow there if you haven't already. But I tell Derek, hey, I'm thinking about starting this business. We go back and forth. The business idea that I had at the time really wasn't that good. So he and I put our heads together, thought for a couple of days, and ended up coming up with this business model called a lead generation agency, or we call it an LGA. And I'm going to explain exactly like what this business is, because it's way simpler than it sounds. Every business on this planet needs one thing to survive. What is that thing? Leads. Doesn't matter the industry, doesn't matter the size of company. No leads, no revenue, no business. Okay? A lead gen agency does this. It helps businesses get leads. That's it. And companies will pay you handsomely every single month to do this for them. The average starting retainer for people that I work with is like anywhere from $1,500 to $4,000 per month. You're not selling a product, you're not managing a warehouse, you're not building an app, requires no technical skills whatsoever. You're doing what you already know how to do, but you're just doing it for yourself. And this was game changing for me when I realized this. Derek and I were grinding it out in sales every single day, but we decided to put in a little bit of time outside of our day jobs. And within 2 weeks, guys, just 2 weeks of doing what we were already doing as sales reps, reaching out to businesses, we closed a screen printer in Detroit, Michigan for almost $3,000 per month. It was $2,750 per month on a 3-month contract to be exact. We got them on the phone, talked about the business that we were thinking about starting. We didn't even tell them that we had experience or anything like that, but we closed them the same way that you close every deal that you already are doing right now. The difference this time though was instead of getting a 4% commission on it, we got to keep 100% of it. $2,750 split between the two of us. It was a ton of money extra on the side for doing very little at the time. Like it completely fractured our mindset around what we could do with our computers. And the reason why I'm making this video and why I'm so passionate about explaining this business model to sales reps is because you're already doing it. And it's the perfect business for somebody with a sales background for a couple of reasons. One, you already know how to get customers. You know cold outreach. You know how to go and find businesses that need leads. All you do is go and find companies that are not doing very well with their web presence and explain to them what the best companies in town are doing and how you can help them replicate that strategy. And I can teach you how to replicate that strategy in like an hour. It's not complex. Most people starting agencies fail because they don't know how to get clients, but you know how to do that because you're getting clients for your company every single day. The actual service side is very, very simple to learn. We deliver a service that's 3 steps. Step 1 is an ad. And a lot of people are like, oh, aren't ads really difficult to run? No. If you try and run every ad under the sun, yes, it's difficult to learn. But when you run one single lead gen ad, like it's called a lead gen objective, I can literally teach you to run these in like an hour. It could not be any simpler. We take the traffic from the ad, we set up a simple landing page that actually converts that traffic, or people coming from Google as an example, into them filling out a form like you've done anytime you filled out a form online. And then we deliver those leads to our clients in an automated fashion. Like that's literally the whole business. Now, I want to be very clear about something though. Like I didn't start this business to make a lot of money. And you're probably watching this and you're probably like, I'm already making a lot of money today. And that's completely fair. That's good. That's why we're in sales. And if you're in sales, I hope you're making a lot of money. But what I wanted was actual freedom. I was tired of taking vacations and worrying about quota while I was on vacation. I was tired of being tied to my phone when I was going to the funeral of a loss of a family member, right? Like these things that eat away at us as sales reps when it's always on our mind. Like it doesn't end when we leave the office. We're thinking about quota when we're out to dinner with a first date. Like it's always on our mind. And I was tired of that. I was tired of living my life that way. And I realized the only way that I was going to be able to live the life that I actually wanted was by building something for myself. I got promoted to manager. It didn't change anything. I was going to be a director in the next couple of months. I'd be a VP in the next couple of years. Like, I was going to be on the fast track, and it wasn't a compensation problem for me anymore. It was a freedom, and it was a lifestyle problem. So if you're watching this and something like in this video is resonating or feels familiar, first of all, drop a subscribe to the channel, because I drop free game for sales reps every single week on here. But you've been lending your skills out, bro. Like, you've been lending your skills to your employer for a fraction of what they're actually worth. And I'm just going to leave it on this. Your skills are worth 10 times more in the market as a business owner than any employer will ever pay you. And I hope that lands. I hope that makes sense, because if you just take a little bit of action on yourself, whether it's working with us and, starting a business like I'm suggesting, or whether it's some other idea that you've been passionate about starting on your own, I hope that you do it. I hope that you go and start something for yourself, because you are selling yourself short by just working for an employer as a sales rep. Because I know if you made it this far in the video, you're one of the hardest working people at your company.